The first slam was amazing, especially playing Serena. That for me meant so much because it's been my dream always. And somehow it had more value to me. I was always very strict, demanding, perfectionist. That comes with a lot of suffering. It worked, but I also paid the price. If you want to be top 5, get ready. Like mental health and being top 5, is that even manageable? You're going to have to give your all 100% and you're going to suffer. Are you willing to do whatever it takes to be in the highest level? And I was like, no, I'm not willing no longer to do whatever it takes.
Hi, I am Garcia.
And I am Borja Durán.
Welcome to Tennis Insider Club. This is a podcast where the top tennis players open up like never before.
From Grand Slam champions to rising stars, they tell their stories in their own words. Subscribe now on your favorite platform and don't miss an episode. Let's get started.
Garbiñe, thank you so much for being with us today. First question is, how did you start with tennis?
Well, how do I start? I have to start talking about my family. So we are 3 siblings. I have 2 older brothers, older than me, 11 and 9 years older. And so they kind of dictated the path for me. We grew up in Venezuela, outside Caracas, 1 hour away, more or less. And it all started because my parents they needed somewhere to go in the weekends, because it's a dangerous country. There's no life like on the streets, or you cannot go to a park or, so they kind of like, we need somewhere to go on the weekends to put our kids to play or a pool or something. And they thought to join a club, a humble club. I think it had tennis, a swimming pool, and was it basketball? I can't remember, but humble and small. And then one day they thought like, I want to try tennis, like this sport, I want a class. And so they started and immediately love at first sight. And they started playing tennis, and it became like a weekend activity to a everyday activity, and everyone was obsessed then. And when I was born, I was born into that type of weekends, and we're all going to the club on in the afternoons, and so I started to play like that.
Nice.
And you loved it at first sight too?
Yeah, I really liked it. Well, when you're a little and you see your older brothers doing something cool and fun, and the whole family was involved, I started to play, I think, super, super early, like 2 or 3 years old. Like my brothers, I don't remember, but my brothers always tell me like, you are so small, you couldn't hold the racket, but you were already like there picking up the balls and I had to wait until I was 4 until they accepted me in the little school they had for like kids, but I was already there.
In tennis, just like in life, health is everything. That's why at Tennis Insider Club, we are proud to partner with Hologic, a global leader in women's health. Hologic's mission is simple: to help women everywhere live healthier, longer lives through early detection and innovation. Because when women are strong, the world gets stronger. Learn more at hologic.com.
And how was the transition from playing for fun to start working on, okay, I might have a chance at being a pro? And
Well, that was actually when I was, let's say, 10, where you could like feel that had something special. I started to win the national tournaments. I guess that's the first step, playing the local tournament, championship, and then your province, and then your
that's
country.
already in Spain, or?
That's already in Spain. Yeah, we moved when I was 7.
Okay.
My mom is Venezuelan. My dad's Spanish. We were all born in Venezuela, but we eventually moved to Spain to pursue tennis. And my family did a gigantic sacrifice, saying, okay, my father, I'm going to keep my job. I'm going to fly back and forth, but I want all the family in Spain, in Barcelona at that time. Was super popular there, like academies and stuff. And it was a gigantic, effort an investment to put their 3 kids into an academy and, and make that like a family dream objective. So I would say like at 10, 11, I started to like show some talents and they were like, oh, we might have the small kid actually be the talented one,
Yeah, I think it was a bit later, but you were playing sometimes at least in the same club as I was, and I was always hearing, "Oh, there's this girl who's super good."
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
And I think you were practicing in the hard court in Barcelona, in the hard court.
Yes,
So
yes.
we were not that good, so we were just in the clay court, and we were always like, "Let's see who she's there," like, you know.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like how years later, here we are.
I know.
Nice.
It's a small world, tennis world, you
Yeah,
know, like
yeah, true.
if you played and you've
On
been
my level, it's
around.
not that small. On my level, there was many kids, but
No, but you know
but
what I
yeah,
mean.
yeah,
At the
yeah.
end, if you move in the same circles
Yeah,
and the
true.
same
Yeah.
clubs, you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then how was that transition to like start to play pro tournaments? How was the beginning on the tour?
Well, it's tough, you know. I mean, I have to admit that the family sacrifice was gigantic, and that came with so much pressure.
Fair enough.
And my parents were beyond strict, but beyond, really, like so strict, so demanding. They didn't care much about like school, for example. They were all like, okay, this is our dream. This is the way you can make money. You can have your life. You can be successful. You know, we're here for it. And so they were very strict in the way that they would expect me to behave well. They didn't want me to make many friends because they thought that could be a distraction. So they were very strict. I don't know. It was hard, I have to say, because it wasn't a game. Really quickly it became like a mission, you know?
Yeah.
So I lost the innocence pretty quickly, I would say.
And they were very involved also, like, on your training and the way you were supposed to play, or...
Yeah. My mom, not really, because she's not really like a sports fan. She just cared that I won. Like, did you win? No. Okay, then we have a problem. But my dad was more involved, although they didn't play tennis. They don't come from tennis. They were just fans, and they learn along the way. But they were opinionated. Yeah, they were opinionated about how was I training, my attitude, my compromise, in general, you know. But they were very on top of me, especially when I was young, like very on top of me, yeah.
Similar to you, no?
Yeah, very similar. After my dad was the one bringing me to tournament, and always, when I was young, I had a coach, but he was always there watching. And if I was either not practicing good enough, or I was being a kid and distracted, he was getting kind of mad and like...
we relate to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, you're a kid also, so sometimes you get distracted.
No, I totally agree. Yeah, but we had strict parents. Yeah.
And then, like, because like as you said, not at the beginning, you're very good. You're pretty much winning a lot of times, but then you enter the tour, and there's a lot of losing. No, I guess at the beginning. How is it that like did you have doubts? Like, okay, maybe I cannot make it, or
no, I never had doubts. I was. Something that I'm curious is that I never felt like doubts. I was very stubborn. You know, I don't know, maybe because of this journey and this whole, you know, my father's an entrepreneur, very, very strong and, you know, like, I don't find the word, like stubborn, let's say. He's from the Basque country. People know that he was a stubborn people. And I kind of, you know, grew up with this attitude, like big balls, you know, like I'm going to make it no matter what I have to do. I'm willing to do anything. So my coach at that time, he didn't want me to play juniors tournaments. He's like, what is this for? Like, we went from playing national tournaments to ITF. Immediately, I started like 14, 15. I was already playing like ITF, not playing like juniors at all. But right away trying to get that ranking. And the ranking and trying to play WTAs as soon as possible. And I mean, it worked out. I quickly gained the ranking and start improving, and quickly I didn't, let's say, got stuck too much in those tournaments.
Tough tournaments.
In the tough tour, you know, like there that you're like fighting and people are good and it's competitive. I kind of took the highway. I took the highway.
Nice.
And now, would you say you should have played some junior, or you think it's fine that way also? What do you recommend?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. For me, I don't know. I never missed it. You know,
it
I don't
worked
think
out.
I don't think I missed that chapter, because the reality is that juniors don't give you ranking in a way.
Yeah.
So I wish I would have played maybe more Grand Slam juniors. I only played
those one was a fun one.
Yeah, because you're there and you see your heroes, and because some of them you play in the same courts and you can see, and
it feels like you made it kind of, no, for the first time.
Yeah, you're there. You're there. It's exciting, but no, I would, maybe a couple more, but I would go to the real tour as soon as possible. Right? Yeah.
I played more junior than you.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I've seen you. We've bumped each other so many times, so many years. And, yeah, it's funny.
But at the end, it's true. It's like a whole different story. You see like a lot of very good juniors that never end up having good careers in the pro level. No.
What they say is like you're supposed to play junior at the end when you're 16, max 17, and then after you're supposed to go more like for the pro.
The real deal.
I feel like 16 and 17, like so late. Like you have already like people competing, and having like rankings, and I don't know. It's maybe younger. I would, but then immediately go and try. Test yourself. How far am I? And the real, toughen up a little bit, because the juniors, it's softer, right? You want to go to the real and then get the shield.
I was a baby still at 16. Baby in my mind and baby in my body, like.
Of course, too. Of course. Yeah.
But yeah. And then you start to make it to the top 100 and playing some of the big tournaments and making a name for yourself quite quickly. How was those quick steps?
It was, I had a breakthrough. When I got awarded a wild card for the Miami Open. I was 17 or 18, something like that. I could have not made it on my own ranking, so that I used that wild card super well, because I won 3 or 4 matches, and that gave me the jump that I needed to start playing main draws, and be top 100, I don't know, 80. I did like a big jump there, and I played like 2 or 3 top 10s, and I felt I was close. I was like innocent and, I don't know, like without worries, went out there and played with confidence, and I could feel that I was not far, mentally very far, but technically and tennistically, I was not far. So that gave me a big boost, and I would say that was a breakthrough moment.
Yeah, and then quite quickly, like everything went smoothly. Nothing related, but I have a question.
Yeah,
you did a surgery for your ankle. Because it was a long-term position, or it was really on the moment it was bothering you? Or it was more like...
It was, it was crazy, because I was always twisting my ankles. My ankles are my weak part. Like I always struggled with ankle problems. It was like the only part of my body that I knew. I was like, oh my God, the ankles. And one time, like I twist my ankle very badly and I felt pain. And so we did an MRI, and we discovered that my cartilage gone. Like it was broken and it was like a mess. And the doctors were like, wow, like how can you play with this? Like you have never felt like pain, like that you couldn't walk. And I was like, no, like I never knew. And so long story short, I did a surgery kind of to prevent that it went worse.
Yep.
If I would have to do it today, I might have maybe avoided, because you never know. But it went well, but it took me 6 months out of the calendar. Like after Wimbledon, I had to stop, do the surgery, and then come back in Australia. It was a pain. Like, I mean, it was also the moment where I was like starting, and then we find this injury. And by the way, I had the same thing on my right side and never had a surgery. And went all the way. Yes, with million treatments and machines and physios and so much investment and time and consuming. Was a nightmare. But I escaped without a surgery. Yeah.
And then how was it for you, like to win your first slam?
Oh, wow. Well, the first slam, I mean, didn't came out of nowhere. Like the year before, I was in a final of a Grand Slam in Wimbledon, and before, I played some couple quarterfinals, also in French Open. So, it was cooking. It was there. It was in the process. So was amazing, obviously, especially playing Serena. That for me meant so much, playing her, you know. Yeah, I know some people say I'm crazy that I wanted to have her in the final. Like, people are like, why don't, I mean, anyone else, right? Like, why Serena? And I was like, you know what? Because it's been my dream always.
Yeah. And it's the ultimate challenge at the end.
Ultimate challenge. And somehow it had more value to me, you know. So it was amazing to also win it in French Open, you know, growing up also in Spain. You hear all the time, Roland Garros, all the history, all the previous champions. And when you're a kid, the sentence is like, okay, imagine you're now playing the Roland Garros final. Play this point like if you're playing Roland Garros, you know, so you grew up with this obsession, like for Roland Garros. And so that was my first Grand Slam was amazing. Yeah. It's dream come true.
Going back to the final of the previous year, how, like, when you lost it, it was like a terrible moment, or it was like, you know, like, this means I'm very close at the end. Like, did it fuel you, or?
Yeah, it did fuel me.
Okay.
It did fuel me a lot. I mean, grass court before that, I think I played like maybe once or twice. Like, I was really like, you know, I didn't know much about the grass.
Yeah.
Tactics, but I was aggressive. I was, you know, determined, and you know how grass is. You win the first match, and the second one you start to feel better and confident. And you know, Wimbledon for me was always like, or I go very far, or I.
It's like first day out.
Exactly.
Yeah, it feels like you never have like enough freedom.
Yeah.
More days passed, and you feel better and better, but sometimes it's too late.
Yeah, especially the first days that the court is very different from, because every match, the court slows down, you know. So the first days, if you don't have like the right serve and, I don't know, a fast eye reaction, whatever, you feel slow and you know, you're out. But it wasn't expected, that final in Wimbledon, I have to say. And I was really unconscious of what I was playing for. I was very nervous. But I only understood when I lost the magnitude of it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Yeah. And when I went the next year and had another opportunity at the French Open, I was like, I'm not losing this one. Like, because yes, I was content in Wimbledon when I lost in the final, you know, okay, I didn't win, but I wasn't, it was like, you know, first final.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
It's not too bad, right? But then I'm like, seeing the magnitude of winning, and no one cares about the finalist. No one cares. Like, yeah, you made a final. Like, no one cares. Like, it's all about the winner and who holds the trophy.
Yes.
So the next final, I was much more aware and prepared. Yes, more nervous because I know what I was playing for, but I was like, okay, I'm not going to be now like unconscious. I know. And so that helped me also.
And during the match, you felt in the zone, or you felt you played a normal match?
In French Open?
Yeah,
I played very good.
Nice.
Very good, yes. I played very good. I was very confident. Somehow, I also played Serena before. It wasn't the first time. And somehow I felt like she was not the hardest opponent in terms of hitting. And during the point, I felt like I could play her. You know, I had other opponents where I felt more uncomfortable, whether they were slicing more or awkward or playing slower. I don't know. But with her, I felt that we had a very aggressive tennis, and somehow I could play, you know, without fear. And I don't know. I felt good that day. And I was confident and motivated. Yeah, everything was, the puzzle came together.
How was it afterwards?
I was so tired. I have never celebrated any of the triumphs. Never. I was so exhausted. I remember after that, I did a million hours of press.
Yeah.
I went to this fancy restaurant in the Eiffel Tower. We all know which one it is. Celebrated there, but I was so tired, left mid-dinner. Guys, bye. I'm done. I'm done smiling. And just, you know, I was exhausted. It's so hard to keep the concentration during 3 weeks, you know, because you cannot let go.
Yeah.
For me, I had to be 100%. Even the middle day, the practice day, I had to be almost like a match day. You know, I was like this, same routine, same everything, no room for like no, I was like so tough on myself as well. So when I was done, both Grand Slams, I was like, I can't celebrate. Like, I'm just gonna yes, we have dinner, but then I'm going to go back home or to my hotel room and just chill and process this and let's see tomorrow. But yeah, I was not partying or anything.
We had Dominic Thiem, who said that after winning the US Open, he only felt relieved. Like,
really? Yeah, relief is true because, it's so much pressure and building up to the final. But I felt relief maybe later.
Okay.
In the WTA finals. That I felt relief, but not during, because I was older also. I don't know. When I won the French Open, I was like 22 or something. So for me, it was like, okay, next.
Yeah, true.
I got it. I got the French Open. So what now? I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep bringing this to the tournaments. And I was not a very stable tennis player, but it wasn't a relief. It was like, I want more. I was very ambitious, okay, one done, next.
What about the pressure from the media? Because after winning a slam, I guess that it's very nice, but people just expect you to win like 5 more, kind of. Did it affect you or not?
It did affect me, but I think it's normal.
Yeah.
I was anyway not a constant player. My consistency was never my strength. I was a big player in big moments, but 20 tournaments a year, reaching quarters or so, I couldn't handle it. I had weeks that I was on, weeks that I was a little off, or I don't know, I just didn't find, or the mentality and the fitness, the tennis, it didn't click on those weeks. But when it clicked, it was amazing. So it's okay. It's also my personality, my style, aggressive, my personality. I never really, at some point I was searching for, okay, I need to get this consistency that everyone's talking about. But also sometimes I thought like, maybe it is not in my DNA, and it's okay. I can also be a very good player without that and winning big tournament, whatever the recipe works.
I mean, at the end, all it matters is to pick on the right 2 weeks.
Exactly. You want to win the same, like the Grand Slams. You want to make it to the Masters. You want to, no matter how, whether you do exactly, whether you do 30 tournaments, quarterfinals, or you win 3.
True.
I was like, okay, there's just relax. Don't stop putting pressure on this consistency stuff. But of course, I always wanted to improve that.
Yeah. But at the end, like if you say when you won Roland Garros or Wimbledon, it was like 3 weeks super intense for you. It's hard to play every tournament like this.
Yeah, and also you're not as motivated. Sorry, but you are super motivated for the Grand Slams and other tournaments. But there is some weeks where you're like, I can.
Yeah.
And also you're tired or something happens or I don't know. It's human, right?
Were you enjoying more like life on those like smaller tournaments, or like did you find a good balance, or you were still like as obsessed?
Balance zero. Like I was so tough. I mean, like I had no life. It was all tennis, and I was very like this. Caroline knows. She's seen me so many years.
I know she knows.
Yeah, I mean.
And looking backwards, because of course you accomplished great stuff, but looking backwards, do you think you would have been able to achieve, I don't know if the same, but more or less, having a bit more, or being more like kind with yourself, or like saying, hey, I'm taking 2 weeks off, or you think that, no, it would not have worked?
I thought about it many times. I would have achieved more if I would have changed my approach to tennis, but I got so far because of that approach to tennis, I had to evolve. Okay. I was not always at the beginning, I was very dramatic. Everything was life or death. I died hundreds of times, but as I evolved as a tennis player, I learned a little bit how to handle a few things and, give more importance to this, less to that. But I was always very strict, demanding, perfectionist.
Yeah.
And that comes with a lot of suffering, and my approach also to tennis was very aggressive, very, in a way, unhealthy sometimes because I was not very approachable, very social. It was very consuming, very inner, I was not out there. It worked, but I also paid the price, I think that I also had not the longest career also because of that approach, because I also don't know I wouldn't know how to be relaxed and play. Like I love when I see now like Paulini smiling every day. I'm like, Jesus, like I can't do that, you know, or Arena, you know, they're like nice and open. They talk to people. I was like so closed. So I did not allow myself for that. But it worked. I'm happy. It was my way, my recipe, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have not made, if I would have been different, maybe I would have not done it.
Yeah,
so
fair enough.
After losses, you were very down in a dark place.
I was very down because tennis was everything. So already it was a drama, you know. If I big loss or loss in a tournament that was important, I was like a bit depressed for a little bit. You know, I went back home. I also was living alone. My parents were back in Spain or somewhere, and I was in Switzerland. So yeah, I was very tough on myself. Yeah, it took me a while, but with time, I have to say it did improve, but very slowly. Very slowly. I always took that to heart, you know, not succeeding, and all my self-esteem was depending on how good I was. So already I can tell you that.
Yeah, at the end you have you have it so much interiorized, not that even if you want to be like more kind on the losses, I guess it's still like very hard to change now.
If you wake up thinking and having breakfast tennis, thinking tennis, sleeping tennis, everything tennis, the moment it doesn't go your way, it's like, what the hell is going on, you know? So yeah, it was tough. It was tough. I had to navigate like everybody, but I had good years and bad years, and you know, it's a process.
Were you able to open to your team?
I was able to open to my team. You know, I always had long-term teams. I don't know if that makes sense. Like I didn't change often. I didn't like it. I wanted to have a team and always respect a cycle. Because, you know, I thought that you cannot judge by one bad year. You have to give it 2, 3, even more, depending. So that also allowed to build some sort of trust and some sort of secrecy. You know, that's very important to me. Like I don't like so much when I have teammates that, you know, are changing so much. And I don't know, if I felt always as a player that if I have a coach and I want to share something personal, that I don't feel like next day he's going to coach someone else. And I feel like, what if he's, I don't know.
I mean, makes sense. It's,
you're traveling all year long. So if you get that feeling of, I don't know if it's family, but like good friends, it's gonna help you make it more bearable.
Absolutely. I was always very reserved. Still I am, you know, I respect all the team members that I had that have helped me, because yes, it's a single individual sport, but I need so much help. I needed so much help. So yes, I was able to open, but not very open for help. So
it's just like you wanted to explain your stuff, but like don't get much feedback.
I vomit everything, but then don't tell me what to do, you know? You know, until later when I kind of loosen up a little bit, you know, put my ego a little bit aside also. And again, it takes years to learn that. She's laughing.
Yeah.
She's laughing. She knows it.
No, fair enough.
No, only later in my career, I was more open for help.
Nice.
At the beginning, I was like, I know what I'm doing. Yes, I can hear you. Yes. But I know what I have to do. And I was very like that. So it helped me until it didn't. And then I had to, okay, let me open, you know, help and wisdom and experience. And because this is no longer working. So then I was more open for help. Yeah.
And after having so much success and winning slam and being number one, you had a moment where you dropped a bit in the ranking. How was it to manage this situation?
Tough. It was tough because I came from very good years, and I just felt like I couldn't keep it up. You know, I couldn't keep up that level of intensity, of mental intensity and capacity to be there and suffer. You know, I was like, I don't know, for whatever reason, I didn't have that much room to accept also, and I was more perfect. I don't know, it kind of, everything that helped me to achieve that became kryptonite a little bit, you know, it started to work against me.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to really like, almost two years, really. I was a good player, don't get me wrong, but I was not top 5. And I deserved to be top 5. I believed in my capacities and everything, but I was like 20, 15, 30. I was a little lost in there. So, it took me a little bit to like, okay, what should I do now? What should I change? What's going on? I also had a lot of pride. Do I have to change something? Why is this no longer working? If it did work, I have to stick to this. But it doesn't work no more, So it was tough times, and then is when I had a big change in my team. Yeah, different approach. Little by little, I started realizing like, okay, I need to change things up, but it took time.
Sometimes it's tough to like when something worked and it's not working anymore. It's hard to understand why. But sometimes, like you say, also it's like a cycle, and it's just like you have to accept it and do something new or different.
Of course, now I see it very clear. Like, okay, this was a cycle. This way expired. I need to find now new approach to things and refresh a little bit the whole scenario. But at that time, like exactly what you say, you want to stick what it worked. Yeah. And if it worked once, it will work again. And just have to be tough and stay and fight.
Yeah.
But again, you need to.
It's true. Also, at the end, like as a human being, not a tennis player, you're in years where you're changing a lot. So whatever worked at 20, like it's completely normal that it stopped working at 28. No, maybe at 20 you can sustain a very like unhealthy lifestyle and just work crazy hard. But then at 28, it's like, hey, I cannot do this anymore, right?
Yeah.
So it's true.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny now. Looking back. I don't talk about that much about like deep tennis stuff. No. I mean, yes, but not like really let's break it down.
Therapy tennis.
Therapy tennis.
Therapy tennis.
No, it's interesting.
Absolutely.
During those years, you already thought about like, I don't know if it's quitting, but taking a break or no?
No. The break came later. Yeah, I was like determined, like this is, I always, I'm old school. Yeah. I'm old school. Like, I am not going to show weakness. Yeah. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to fight no matter if I look like I'm struggling, which is fine. I don't care, but I'm going to stay and fight. And I'm going to change team. I'm going to do stuff. I'm going to challenge myself. Yeah. But never thought of quitting. Never. Just sad. But that's it. Luckily, didn't win for more than that.
And then how did you came to the decision of, okay, like I need to really like explore other stuff in life? It was after winning the finals? No, one year after?
So after winning the finals, I felt something that I never felt before, like a relief. It was after those 2 tough years, changed the team, started to be very successful again. COVID came. COVID really, in a way, helped me a lot. It's ironic to say it because everything became really tough on the tour after with all the things we had to go through, the testing, the chart, nightmare. Yeah. And it really cost a lot of my energy and, but that break really, really helped me, to be okay with no tennis for a little bit, recharge, be home, whatever. But after the finals, for the first time, I felt relief, and I was like, is this it? I was like, is this it? Like, after all the lows and downs, I came back to the top of the world. Like, I just want to go on vacation now because, it's the last tournament of the year. Yeah. I'm exhausted of all this year with the COVID, the testing and everything. And I have to go now vacation, but do I have to do a preseason after? Like everything,
Can
like,
I skip
already
preseason?
Overthinking on that.
Yes.
It's tough. It's tough.
And I was like, I'm already suffering. Yeah. I just won one of the biggest titles, and I'm already suffering because I know that I have to do a preseason and start in Australia with, again, being in the spotlight or pressure, which, again, I liked it. Don't get me wrong. I always enjoyed that part. But... And I never felt like that, and I felt like this relief that you said Dominic team felt, and like, maybe this is it, and then snowball, I did a good preseason, but started badly in Australia, and I was like, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it, and that's a snowball. It was growing this thought in my mind that, no say. I also found a lot of joy in my personal side before I was, I mean, I didn't have a personal side. It was
there was only tennis.
Yes, of course. Yes, you have friends and family and whatever, but not something substantiable that you're like, okay, like this is something serious. This is something. So that really helped me also to open my mind and say, it's okay. So yeah, it was a snowball, and then I took a break. Then, because I was like, okay, I'm really struggling now, and I'm struggling to practice, struggling to travel, and I loved traveling, but now I started to struggle traveling, to practice, to compete. Competing for me was always the easiest. Like the practice was always the toughest. Like the practices and these and the routines. Competing was like, okay, exam day, let's go play.
Yeah.
But I started to struggle with everything. So it was a lot all of a sudden. So that was a sign to me. I'm like, this is an interesting sign. I've never felt this before. Yes, I've had rough moments.
Yeah.
But this is maybe a red flag. And so then I took a little break. Yeah.
Thinking you would come back, or no idea.
I thought that I would come back. In fact, I did. I was in Miami and told my team, like, I need a break. Like, I'm done. I need a break. I want to go back home, rest. I went back home. After 2 weeks, we're coming back.
That was a failed break.
Yes, and my team was like, this is a very short break. I thought you were going to say like a month, 2 months. Like, you really need this, Garbiñe. Like, we can feel you. Just go. Don't worry. Go rest. But I felt so guilty.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. I felt so guilty. I'm throwing the towel. What are you doing? You can still make it. And I came back miserable. I was like, oh, okay, let's do this. And then I took a break. But so it was like 2-step.
Yeah.
It was a 2-step. It wasn't at the. It took me time to really feel okay with the decision.
And so I was gonna ask, was it easy to take the decision? But no.
I mean, once I took it, I was really okay with it. It was just this first instinct of you
feel
fight it. Yeah, weak or like, I should be playing. I'm still young because I was still young. It was like, oh.
Also, everyone is asking you, like, why? No, you're so young. Like when you announced, everyone was like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. Did they? Oh.
Not like Mary, like these are, but yeah, it's like, why? You're so young. You could play like 5 more years.
I know they did ask me that. Yeah, that's true.
You still have the tennis.
Yeah, because I was not injured or anything. I was just like looking forward to do something else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Outside tennis, build a family. I don't know. My life was just starting. I felt like this is great. I had an amazing career. But now I have a feeling that it's just going to get better. So when I took the decision, it was hard immediately, that first instinct. But then it was awesome, just trying to figure out what to do a little bit. The first day is like, oh, okay, like, let's go somewhere, no tennis, no gym. Like, let's go somewhere. Let's just pack a bag and let's just do something. But a lot of people ask me like, oh, you're still young. You could have, especially now that they're coming back after family.
Yeah,
they're much older and, you can play longer and stuff, which is fine. But I did not have the gasoline in me to keep going.
Also, I guess like for someone like you who's been at the top, like, you're not going to go back and be happy being top 30, probably, like for someone who has experienced the good stuff,
Great question. Yes, absolutely. I knew that the way to be in the highest level was
give everything.
But everything, and also in a very unhealthy way.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to die if, are you willing to do whatever it takes? And this was my, like, and I was like, no, I'm not willing no longer to do whatever it takes. And so already that was my question. That was the answer of my question, because I did it. I needed to be top 5, top 10, be there competing for the Masters, Grand Slam finals.
Yeah.
And I knew that.
A bit similar to her. Like me, sometimes from the outset, at the beginning, especially when we were starting dating, I was struggling, like, why you're not fine being 7 when, like, you were 4, but like, hey, but yeah, of course, if you've been 4 in the world and you won big stuff, and you slams, it's I guess it's very hard after to say, I'm going to be fine losing second round in
Maybe some
Garros.
people are fine, but I think it's personal. Obviously, if you want slams and everything, maybe it's a bit.
It's also how you are, no? Like at the end, you are like a competitor, very professional, and it's hard to find that balance.
No, also in the last few months, I did try to be a little bit more calm and relaxed and try to still work hard and be relaxed and calm and friendly and stuff, but it was not possible. I was like, listen.
All or nothing, no?
Yeah, I was like, admit that you have only one way and this is the way. Like, there is no way of being, like relaxed and funny and still go out and social and make friends and everything and pretend that you're going to be top 5.
Maybe if you don't find that balance since very early on, or after, it's very hard to change. Like Dominic Thiem was saying exactly that after winning the slam, it was like he could not find the way. It was like the unhealthy way, which he didn't want to do again, or like it's flatness.
Yeah, for me, it took everything, all the everything, my 100% in order to commit to it, which is good. I mean, I'm really happy that was my way because it was tough. It helped me to build my character and resilience and but everyone has their method.
I think it's good to do it, like the problem begins if you extend it more than you should, kind of,
Exactly,
like knowing when to stop is also a good ability.
Very good, very good point. I've seen cases also where you can see that someone is struggling and you're thinking, I know where you're feeling, maybe you should now take a little break and come back. I don't know. Again, this is going to be tough, polemic what I'm going to say, but I am like old school though. I'm like not too much like trying to speak about mental health too much. I'm a little bit like, because it's tough, it's going to be, if you want to be top 5, get ready. Like mental health and being top 5, I mean, like, is that even manageable? Like you're going to have to give your all 100% and you're going to suffer. Yeah. So,
yeah, after it's like maybe suffering during 20 years is maybe not healthy.
Yeah, no, of course. If you really have a long career and longevity, you have found a perfect...
A good balance.
Yes, I would say, like when I see like Rafa Nadal, Novak Djokovic, all these players that have such a long career, Serena, I mean, they struggled, but somehow find a way, I never found that perfect balance to keep going forever. No.
Also for a guy, maybe it's a bit easier, no? Because first of all, like you can solve the parenting kind of more easily.
Have that pressure,
at the end, those 3 guys, they have families.
Yeah.
No, also for a woman, probably it's more normal to leave their life behind and follow the guy, which maybe for a girl, it's more tricky. So I think like for a guy, it's easier to like make their family adapt to their lifestyle than the other way around, no? Especially if you want to be a mother.
Maybe for a woman, you have less the pressure of, I want to build a family, so...
Yeah.
If I play until 38, maybe it's not easy,
Yeah. But we are seeing now
more and more.
More and more. Like changing, 33, 34, even longer. And coming back.
Yes.
And also coming back.
Yeah, now with the maternity fund we're going to have in 5 years from now, it's going to be half of the tour with their kids.
No, but some people are able to do it, but I don't know. I would not be able to function, I think.
I mean, all the credit to those players that can handle it. I don't think I could.
Yeah.
Me neither.
I don't think I could.
Would you like your kid to be a tennis player or no?
Oh my goodness.
Spicy question.
Yes.
I think we didn't have any single yes yet.
Okay, here comes the first yes. Yes, I would like to though, but let me clarify. I would like him to play tennis. Whether I would push him to pursue a professional career, I would have to really see how he behaves and how he plays and everything, because it's very tough. The possibilities are so little to make it.
No, most of the time the player are saying that yes, they want him or her to discover tennis, to know how to play.
Yeah.
But after professionally, like...
Only if it's their own decision.
Not really, but it wants...
Yeah. I mean, I knew how my parents were with me, and if I have to be like that with my kid in order to make it, I don't know.
And the thing is, like, at the end, you made it. But, like, all the kids that maybe, like, didn't make it with all this pressure from the families,
absolutely,
maybe they're, like, broken kids out there. So you also have to take into account that
mentally
the chances are
mentally tough. When you really try something and it doesn't happen, you do struggle with failure feelings. But, of course, I would like them to do sports and try. And let's see, I have, I think, a good eye to really know. Or, I mean, I think immediately it has to be a special kid if you actually want to push them to be, you have to see, because I work with a lot of kids and I can see if a kid is actually focused or he's like distracted the whole hour, And
that's me.
That's true. I mean, like some people like more like group, like team sports. Some kids are more like they like it and they pay more attention. Some others don't. So you also need to have a kid that likes to be alone, that can handle 1 hour on a tennis court. It's boring for a kid, but if he's okay, you see it right away, whether there is an option or not, I think.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
It's true. We are special.
We're crazy special.
How is it now to be back in the tennis world in a different way as a tournament director?
I love it. I really love it. I never thought that this opportunity would come so quickly, but I'm very grateful for WTA for trusting that I could do a good job, that they would see me fit so quickly for such an important role, in the WTA finals, a tournament that has given me so much. And I love to be part because I have like all the experience of a tennis player, and I know what they would like to have, to expect, what they deserve, and also learn a lot about the business of it and how, oh my goodness, how much work it is behind the scenes. As a player, you don't know anything, obviously.
You understand why when you were complaining, they were like, it's not that easy.
Of course. No, I mean, but it's okay. I mean, like when you're a player, you do your job and that's it. But it's really interesting, all this learning experience for me. And also I like that the players can have a familiar face. I don't know. That they can talk to me. They don't see me too corporate. I don't know, somehow, maybe not yet.
No.
But, so they can talk to me and, like they can ask me, like I talk to the players, I go see them practices and I'm like, you're looking good, like stuff. And they're like, we talk a little tennis, and I like that. I feel like they like to see me around and helping them.
I mean, I have the experience of Amélie, being tournament director of Roland Garros. Obviously, like she was captain of Fed Cup, so I know her. And I felt it's like, like you say, you can relate, you can talk,
Absolutely,
you can have like a normal conversation. You don't feel like you're talking to someone who is in office all day long.
Yeah.
And it's a friendly face, and everyone has been players, so we know what we are going through. If, for example, the player is stressed on court, you will not take it badly because you know what it means.
Yeah, the body language. I can already tell so much by the body language when I see a player, like, it's not a right moment to approach. Oh, I know how she's feeling the last week. And I do all the maths, like, she may be tired now because she just... So I think that's nice. Would you like to be a Fed Cup captain? Billie Jean King captain.
I think I would like it.
Yeah, you would do such a good job. I feel like you like... because you're passionate for tennis.
Yeah, I think, I always liked to play that competition. It was very nice. Because also for me, the tour sometimes was very lonely and it was like not easy. So it was nice to be with a team. After every single week of Fed Cup, I was depressed, but
yeah, me too. I was
that was the downside of it.
This is it. Yeah. It was
like,
so much. It was
so
down.
But I like it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should have done a team sport, but I think I will like it. Maybe in a few years.
Yeah, absolutely.
You?
Yeah, I think exactly like you felt. Like it was a nice competition because for once I was not lonely.
Yeah.
But I was so exhausted afterwards.
Oh yeah.
God. I had to always like pull out from the next tournament. Like
so tired.
Yeah, just the whole pressure of the team. Yeah. But it's beautiful, and I think, like you say, in a few years, I think when the time's right, whenever they think about me or whatever, I think I will be open. Yeah,
because you have to also learn to like manage a team, communicate, have a good, be able to build a good team around you,
good environment, make them feel good, comfortable. Yeah,
and also manage different personality, egos, and things like.
I know.
Maybe we will see once Caro against Garbiñe.
That would be so fun.
On the bench.
We're from the same generation. I'm sure that's going to happen.
I don't know why we'll support Spain or
España.
Yeah.
No.
Of course.
But that would be fun.
That's true.
Which advice would you give to your younger self?
Oh my God. With everything I said, there's so many. And a realistic advice, okay? Because some people say advices that are like, I feel like,
realistic.
Exactly. Let me think about this one. I would say, immediately advice would be to hang in there. Yeah, to hang in there, because there is moments where, like I said, I took everything life or death.
Yeah.
and made a drama out of like things that obviously were not as big drama as, seeing them now, but like hanging there because all these things pass. Today is a big deal, tomorrow no one cares. So hanging there with everything you have, and that's it. Simple, but I think to me it would have helped me. Like okay, okay.
I think it's one of the best advice you can have in life. No, that everything shall pass at one moment.
Yes.
Cool. Awesome.
Thank you
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Garbiñe.
Thank you for having me. Such a pleasure.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our next episodes. And it would mean the world to me if you can share this episode with someone you think will enjoy it. Thank you and see you soon.